From ClarkWorth.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 59. I'm Chris, he's Steve, and here we go.
that was on top, like one of the worst opens.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That was.
I'm Chris, he's Steve. Now we're going to do stuff.
Hey, why do you have to pick on me? Why do you have to? I thought that was a completely passable opening.
Passable, yes.
Passable opening.
If that's what passes for good opens these days, I don't know, Chris.
You don't know. You're like, I wrote a song once.
You
did?
Called,
I did, more than once. I wrote a song called You Don't Know, except that I spelled it with a U, just like the letter U. You don't know.
I don't, do I?
And I don't know. I was fond of the song. One of the reasons I was fond of the song is because I wrote all the parts except for the drum beat and one of the synth parts myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like computer music class in college.
Oh, they had one of those?
They did have one of those. I had a computer music class in college, and I was working on. I had gotten a keyboard and a computer for my birthday, birthday-ish. The computer over the summer, and then the keyboard for my birthday. And so I was writing in my room. My band had broken up, and I was working on my one-man band.
That's what I used to do when I had a single.
Yeah, you worked on
the old one-man band.
Worked it real hard. Got it. Worked it real hard till it couldn't get hard.
I was shooting across the room sometimes.
I was shooting for the stars.
Yeah. But did you have like those stars like that were like glow in the dark on the ceiling?
I did, and sometimes...
And it would just land in your mouth. Sometimes you're like, oh, well, so there's some protein.
Wait, what are we talking... I thought we were talking about my band.
Oh, I don't know.
So yeah, I had a song called You Don't Know, and I wrote all the parts, and it's not on the internet anywhere, so you can't go find it.
Damn, you should put it on iTunes. Like we have the Ape's Choice on iTunes.
Wow, plugging things in the first under the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, so we have it on iTunes and Google Play and Amazon. So you could like go and buy that album. And it's Dan's birthday's coming up. So happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday.
Hopefully people buy the album in honor of your birthday.
I could put up, the one person. Well, a few people bought it or downloaded it back when it was on mp3.com back in the day. Few people bought the CD, and recently, speaking of Dan actually asked for a copy of the Pop Bubblegum Trash oeuvre, the entire discography, and I sent it to him, and I have not heard from him since. So I'm not sure.
I saw him last night. He didn't say anything about it.
No, I was like, I think I prefaced it. I said it's not. Because what he had heard was the most recent album I did, which I think was in 2010, maybe 2011, and no, definitely 2011. 2011, I did the most recent album, and that was way different and still not the quality of a professional music group, but it was way beyond what the first one was, and so. I don't know. I am a big believer. We're way off topic already, but like
You mean horribly off topic?
that what it's called?
Yeah,
that is what it's called. I like having all the shit that I've ever put online still online. Like I'm not embarrassed by it for the most part, and
except
so I'm working
for like most of the episodes of the show.
Most. I still like a few.
Yeah, there's a couple.
There's a couple that aren't bad.
You like episode 3, Phantom
3,
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Wait, no, what was
3 episode
Revenge
3
of the Sith?
That was Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Hoth.
Revenge of the Fallen.
What's the new one called?
Transform. You know what?
What's the new one called?
Well, the
Rape Awakened.
The Rape Awakens. No, that is not. The Force Awakens. Force Awakens.
Sorry.
The Force Touch Awakens.
That's not what it's called.
That's not what it's called.
They changed it last minute.
They changed it. Yeah, last week I think we were talking about Force Touch and how that...
They probably listen to the show.
They listen to the show.
They're like, Force Touch is too rapey.
Yeah, too rapey. I mean, so if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, back when Apple announced the...
Because they didn't listen last week.
Back when Apple announced the Apple Watch, they called the technology which allows the watch to detect how hard you're pressing on it forced.
Did I do that last week too?
You might have. They called it Force Touch, and we were waiting with bated breath to see whether they would call it the same thing when they unveiled the new iPhones and iPad this week. And in fact, the iPad does not have anything called Force Touch or anything like that. We'll get into the iPad maybe, but the iPhone has something called 3D Touch.
Yes, so I can touch things in 3D.
You can touch 3Ds at once.
Yeah, they'll have that new app, like the new Clit Rub app.
Yep. There's that one. There has that one
because it's like a little
I mean, see, that's the thing.
A little heedle deedle here and there,
that's a reason for an app store outside of Apple's App Store, because that will never actually be on the real App Store.
You think they would? They can't have sexy apps like that?
No sexy apps.
Why
no
not?
Sexy time apps. They're Apple.
I mean, I've never sought them out, so I guess that's why I didn't realize that they weren't there.
No, back when the App Store first launched, there were constantly people trying to get around that through sort of sexy time pics and stuff like that. But no, anything vaguely erotic is shit canned.
Is forbidden.
Forbidden.
What about, like, I don't know, you guys out there that have like Google phones or Android operating system phones?
Yes.
If you have any of those, can you get like dirty apps on the?
Can you get a clit rubbing app?
Yeah, can you get clit app?
3D clit.
3D clit app.
3D.
I'll just have to program it myself on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is all it would take.
Or maybe Paul, he creates games. Maybe he can get it on my phone.
I mean, are you saying that you need a lot of practice with that?
No,
you do all right.
I think I do all right. I mean, I can't speak.
You can't say.
I can't say. I mean, like, I'll just have to like rely on what someone else might say.
Yeah, what someone else might say. Okay, all right. No, you cannot get any apps like that on the phone unless you jailbreak it, and it's a bad idea to jailbreak it, generally speaking, because that's where a lot of the exploits can come into play.
Yeah.
There was a recent security break, and I think all of the passwords and things that were compromised came from
jailbroken phones. So I didn't jailbreak this, and but I'm actually I ordered.
You ordered one.
I ordered it. I got.
Did you order?
I'm such an old person. Like, we went to bed like Friday night at like 9:30, I think.
Yeah.
I think because we were watching the Red Sox game, we went to B-Dubs because I needed to have my every couple of months just clear out the tank.
Yeah.
You know,
got it.
Eat something really spicy and then shit all morning. And so I got up pretty early, around the time I normally get up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, let's see. I went onto the website and I was like, oh, I can get one the day it comes out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
If I had to wait a while, I might not have. Like,
Right.
I mean, I probably would have gotten it, but I wouldn't have done the pre-order.
Yeah, wouldn't have done the pre-order. What was...
Well, yeah, I felt like
it was three things I was going to ask you based off of what you just said. But
okay, so I'll anticipate your question.
Okay,
it's weird, like when you shit that much, how hungry you feel.
Okay, yes,
how hungry you feel afterwards, because you've just basically emptied everything out. Because I even when I don't get the spicy ones, there it's just I don't know if they put something in it that just makes it so that it just rips out of my body. But yeah,
you know me so well that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
And I'm just I'm like, oh my god! And I got Reese peanut butter puffs because I'm apparently a child when I go buy my cereal, and I had a big old bowl of that after I was finished shitting.
See,
I washed my hands.
I don't eat cereal all that much, but when I eat cereal, I would much rather have the kids' stuff. Like my wife goes ahead and she buys the healthy stuff for herself. You know, it's a granola or muesli or like
muesli. Do they still make that?
I don't know. I don't even know what muesli is. They mention it in a book that I read to the kids called Fortunately, the Milk. It's a great Neil Gaiman book. If you have kids and you want to read something to them, it's a little bit more long form. I don't know if there's anybody else. Well, one of our listeners has a kid, but probably at least one.
I think.
At any rate, good book. mentions muesli. I can't even remember what muesli is.
I think it's just kind of like granola.
Yeah,
only it gets a little bit more soft. It's less crunchy, I think.
So Steph will always go and buy the healthy stuff, but me, if I'm gonna eat cereal, I'll go. You
want Fruity Cocoa Puffs or something?
Fruity Cocoa Puffs. That's not.
See, do you ever like try to combine like cereals? See, I don't
cross the streams.
See, I wasn't much of one to do that either. But like certain combinations work. Like because I was on like a Kellogg's kick.
Yep.
And I had bought like Fruit Loops and Frosted Flakes and Rice Krispies.
Okay.
So
the Frosted Flakes and the Rice Krispies I could see going.
That worked. That worked. The Rice Krispies and the Fruit Loops worked.
Okay. But the Fruit Loops and the Frosted Flakes
didn't work so well.
No, I was gonna say that doesn't sound right. The Rice Krispies could work with just about anything. I feel like they slot in there as kind of a nice whatever. But they are terrible if they're anything other than like fresh. Like if you let them sit for 30 seconds, I think Rice Krispies are already done. Like
what do you mean, like with the milk?
With the milk. Once Rice Krispies start to get soggy, they're just
it just turns into gunk.
There's a new version of is it Fruit Loops?
Oh, it's around the holiday. It's around the Halloween holidays. I can get my Monster cereals.
Oh yes, see, I know people who are way into those, and I haven't had those in years. That might be something to pick up. I was gonna say there's a I think it's a Fruit Loops that has marshmallows in it that the kids, my kids love, and so it's like a combination of Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms,
which is, I guess,
well the good part.
Well,
of
it's better. It's better than Lucky Charms themselves. I think.
Yeah.
Because Fruit Loops, I think, are probably better than those little sugar packet.
Probably.
But here's the thing about like those Monster cereals that I love so much.
Yeah,
and I remember liking them way better when I was a kid. And I guess what happened is like they used to be like like Lucky Charms.
Yeah,
they would be oat. Because Lucky Charms are an oat cereal,
right?
And they would have like the oat flavors, like
right.
the Count Chocula would be chocolate, strawberry for Frankenberry, and then blueberry for Boo Berry.
Right.
But then they changed all of those, the Monster cereals, to corn based.
Oh.
And it's still okay, but it's not as good.
Because we have lots of corn in this country.
But like it's the same company that makes Lucky Charms.
Right.
So if you had I think a couple of years ago they had chocolate Lucky Charms. That was basically what Count Chocula used to be.
Gotcha. Yeah. I haven't had any of the Monster ones in a long time.
And like, what was it? 2 years ago, they had like the different ones, like the ones that were from like the 70s and 80s. They had Fruit Brute, which was in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What was it? No, it was not Reservoir Dogs. It was Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
What's his butt? Was eating the cereal.
Eric
Stoltz. Yeah. He's eating the cereal. He's eating Fruit Brute.
That's right.
In that scene.
He was once Marty McFly. Did you know that?
We've talked about this before.
We have talked about this before.
And then
those movies have been on all weekend, which is why it's fresh in the brain.
See, that's weird because like I'm like, oh, they've been on. Well, because in my brain they're on when I put them on.
Yeah. No, I know
Because like we were hanging out last night. We were going to watch some Rick and Morty, but. We were at Paul's, and he doesn't have he just has the internet too.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the cable, so we're just trying to find a way to watch this show, like in a legal manner,
right?
Like, so we were went to CartoonNetwork.com, and then they had to put in a password or something like that.
That's the worst. That is the absolute. So we moved. I had my HBO all set up, and HBO was actually one of the better ones because even after I moved, my HBO Go login was still working. I had canceled my cable, my HBO Go, and now my parents here at the house, they have an HBO subscription temporarily through the good deal that my mom got. So I could log in with her credentials, but like the fact that every one of these apps makes you log in, and I get why they're doing it. They're all tied to the.
But it's not an app. It was just at the Cartoon or AdultSwim.com.
Well, that's what all the Apple TV and the iPad apps and all these things really are. Is they're just interfaces for the same web service that you're getting if you go through the browser. They all want you to log in with your credentials for your cable provider because heaven forbid you should want to access content without subscribing.
But the thing is, just put an I'll watch a damn ad. Like, I'll watch 2.
Would you pay
I'll watch
for it?
really loud ads, which we were doing last night when we finally got it to work.
Would you pay for it?
No.
Okay.
I'm not paying to watch Cartoon Network, like, individually. I'm not paying to watch, like, I'm not buying the NFL, like, app or whatever.
Right.
So I can watch all the NFL games on my device.
And I mean, I think that
I'm not paying for the MLB thing so I can watch all the baseball games. No, it's just silly to me. Yeah. If cable companies provide me a good service at a decent price, yeah, I'll buy it.
Right.
Do it. I'll pay for it.
Right.
But if they're not, then no. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys need to figure out how to make this.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking, and like, I guess earlier this week, California was going to pass a bill to like, basically clean up or basically reduce oil consumption in the state by like 50% in the next like 10 years or something like that. And then, like, of course, the oil companies dumped shitloads of money into the campaign, and it failed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they don't want. But the thing is, what they shouldn't be doing, like, or if this was a real company, they would have to adapt. But they're the oil companies, and so they're above it all, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it was a real company, they'd have to adapt, and they'd be like, okay, well, they're right. Like, oil is something that is there's a finite amount of it. We should definitely try to invest into different types of technologies, and we can, as the Exxon or Mobil or whatever, BP, whatever, like, oil conglomerate, they don't have to necessarily focus on oil as a revenue stream, and then so if they're investing in solar energy as well, then when oil starts losing money, like it is doing now, they can start making money off of the solar energy.
If they were a real business,
if they knew what they were, well, if they weren't, they didn't have obscene amount of cash that they can just throw at legislators that could just say, hey, don't vote for this because here's money.
Yeah. But I mean, the cable companies are the same way. They ban.
They want monopolies, which are illegal, but they somehow are okay to have because there's like a satellite provider too. I guess.
So I mean, you ordered the iPhone 6s.
Yes.
the iPhone 6s or the 6s Plus.
Yes. I did not get the Plus.
One of the other things that came out of Tuesday's event. Tuesday's Apple event was the Apple TV, and this was a thing that was supposedly going to come this summer, but one of the things they've been working on is some sort of service that you would pay once. The rumors are you would pay once and you would get access to a whole bunch of this stuff that you usually pay separate fees for online. I mean, not unlike a cable company, but it would be through Apple in this case, or it would be through the providers. And the cable companies didn't want to play. The TV companies don't want to play. I mean, NBC is owned by Comcast. How are you ever going to make a deal with NBC for their content when Comcast, a cable provider, owns them? Yeah. And there was a time when Time Warner owned Warner Brothers. I don't think that's still the case, but this is the problem.
Well, that's what they were called, Time Warner.
Right. Yeah. But I think Time Warner Cable was a separate thing now. It's frustrating because the Apple TV, the technology, the actual physical box that they've created now is really, really neat. And I want to talk about that, but the content part of it is still the problem. So, like, you can get now finally a standalone HBO, a standalone Showtime. If you are a cable cutter and you don't want to pay those, you can pay for HBO and Showtime in the same way that you pay for Netflix.
Yeah, well, like, what is it? Hulu now has the thing where you can pay extra and
get no ads.
Get all the get Showtime with it. Well, you can't get the Showtime stuff.
Yeah,
I mean there wouldn't be ads anyways,
right?
Because like Showtime.
But Hulu is finally introducing.
They got that, and then HBO has their single service thing.
So the tagline for the Apple TV is the new one was that the future of TV is apps, and I think that maybe is a stopgap, and maybe that's true. It's a nice tagline. That's not even the major selling point for me, but so like they're leaving it to the individual providers to come up with something rather than trying to get them all together. So now you've got, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Showtime. The one that's conspicuous by its absence is Amazon Amazon and Apple have a very contentious relationship.
Well,
so
they
it's no
like
surprise.
I don't know. Who knows? They might kiss and make up a little bit.
They
The
might.
thing is, they have to play nice with each other because they're kind of.
I mean, they do and they don't. There has never been an Amazon app on the Apple TV. Now, that's because the Apple TV has not traditionally had apps. So, what I'm getting a feeling of is that the apps that people create for the phones and the iPads will kind of be easily translatable over to the TV. So maybe your Amazon app shows up over there.
Well, the thing is, like, I already have like the next gen systems and whatnot, and I have all those apps on my on my Wii U and my PlayStation. So it's just like
it's absolutely. So if you've already got those, like, what's the point of the Apple TV? So technology wise, and I'm sure the other companies are working on this if they don't have it already. One of the coolest things was that. Whether through typing or through voice, the new remote has a Siri microphone built in. You can ask it for episodes of Modern Family. This is one of the ones that they used in their demo. So I'm sorry, I'm not.
Or Big Bang Theory. I hear that show is great. Becky's gonna kill me because she doesn't like it when I zing that show.
That popped into my head. I heard somebody's getting married on that show.
Oh, is it one of the nerds to another nerd?
No, I think it's one of the nerds to like the hot girl.
Oh.
I think that. I mean, isn't that kind of what's been happening? I mean, it's the Friends formula. Like Ross was going to marry Rachel at some point. Like we knew that like from the very first episode. So I don't know who's the Ross and the Rachel.
I was actually watching episodes of Friends. Like I think maybe
there's like 4 of them in a row every afternoon on TBS.
I guess I was just lounging and it was I forget where I was because there was TV.
Yeah.
It might have been at Becky's place up, and I was just flicking, and then I think we were watching something else, and then Friends came on.
Yeah.
And I was just watching it, and it's weird because like Chandler was like chain smoking. Like,
Chandler was. There was a period where he was chain smoking,
and I'm like, what's going on? Like, you cannot have a character on television that is someone who is a good character, like, well, not necessarily good, but like someone who's not a shithead.
Right.
Like, you can't have someone like that smoke, because then you can only have like a villainous person smoke, or someone who's like
in Marvel movies and Marvel comics and Marvel comics more so. Joe Quesada was editor in chief for a while. He stopped Wolverine from smoking cigars in the comics, which pissed a lot of people off because like he didn't even want to in a comic book show a character.
He's got a healing factor.
He does have a healing factor.
So he's just smoking butts like his lungs are healing themselves.
I know it's not hurting him. You know, it's one anyway.
It's secondhand smoke.
Let's not go down the Wolverine path.
We could smoke around Rogue if she touched him.
Apparently, yeah. So getting back to it, one of the cool things about the Apple TV is you say, "Show me episodes of." Let's go with the Big Bang Theory, and it will show you.
Let's not go with the Big Bang Theory.
It will show you all of the various services you have installed that have access to that show. So it will show you that it's available on Netflix, it's available on Hulu. If you own it on iTunes, it's available over here. You can get it on any of those from that one search screen, which is nice because I will do that online. I used to do that online for the show. I would say, well, where the hell can you watch X, Y, or Z? And I would I used a website called Can You Stream It, which didn't turn out to be all that reliable, so I stopped using it for the show notes. But it's like that, but built into the damn device. So I have access to, I'm like, where do I have it? Rather than going in and out of 6 different apps, I just say, where can I watch The Patriot?
See, here's the thing. You know that show, that podcast I listen to, How Did This Get Made?
Yes.
Like they'll do a movie, but like it's not available like for free on a streaming service, and it bugs me. I'm like, do you guys have like the movie guys in your pockets a little bit? Are you
maybe a little bit.
You trying to get a little extra cash? Besides from bonobos or whatever else they have advertised on their fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, it does bother me when you can't find something, but I mean,
there's one that I really wanted to watch. I have it sitting here. I'm hoping like it's Top Dog, which is was Chuck Norris's like last movie.
Really?
Which was in the 80s or no, in the 90s, like where he just all of a sudden just stopped making
movies for a while, and then he came back and did the whichever Expendables.
Yeah. I think that was the last one.
It does bug me, but as a content creator myself, and God, I hate the term content creator. I can understand why people might not want their thing out there on free streaming service where they make absolutely no money.
Do they not make any money doing that?
Most of these places make absolutely... I mean, musicians certainly make absolutely zero on the streaming service.
So, okay, if anybody's like made a documentary or if there's a stand-up that has gotten a special, I don't know.
I mean, maybe the deal's better on Netflix.
I think it might be a decent deal because... Like, or else I don't think or at least the stand-ups wouldn't be like having their stand-up specials on.
Yeah, I mean,
I know Bill Burr did his last 2 on there.
Right, and I know the one I have in my queue is Tig Notaro, which I'd heard about a whole bunch. And
documentary or her stand-up special?
I think it's a combo. I think it's both. And then of course stuff like when we talked about oh my goodness, her name is escaping me. The woman who made that apparently depressing documentary, Hot Girls Wanted.
She was on that damn show. With,
that damn show with the Office.
The Office.
That one about the Office. What was that?
Parks and Rec.
What was that called? Yes, Parks and Rec. So like she obviously chose Netflix as the place to go, and I imagine that they make some amount of money from putting stuff on there. But it's a really hard road for people who are creating content. I mean, look, we're sitting here, we're recording a podcast, we're recording it for free. These other people are putting lots more hours and lots more whatever into. Come
on, we put an hour a week.
An hour a week.
These people probably don't put more than that.
But they're out there, and so I can understand why some stuff is not available. But it's frustrating for us as the consumers.
Yeah, because it's like I want to listen to this podcast and I want to watch the movie too, but I don't want to like rent it from iTunes for $2 for this movie that's probably going to be really terrible.
Yes,
like if it was something that was going to be great, I'd be like, sure, yeah.
Right. Well, and part of it is not necessarily that streaming services are bad, but the economics of how the money gets distributed probably needs improvement. So that, you can say, oh, you should maybe as the consumer have some power over like where your $12 goes. Right. Like especially on a month where maybe you're busy and you don't watch as much Netflix. You should be able to have some control without it being a survey you have to fill out every month over, okay, I want my money to go to X, Y, and Z. And that might help a little bit. Because I think the way that it currently works, it just favors big companies and as most things.
See, when I was younger, I thought that like by this point in our lives that if we had any sort of cable, it would be
fully on demand.
Yeah, fully on demand. You could like watch anything at your disposal. There would still be the networks that show their television shows or whatever, like at X time, and you could watch it then if you wanted to. But you could also like just everything. Like every sort of media should be there, like to see.
The infrastructure is there for that to happen, and it's all just a matter of politics and how to get these people paid. And that's, I think,
no one wants to pay people.
No one wants to pay people.
They just want to throw money at things so people won't get paid.
No, I mean they don't want to pay anything for anything at all. And that's the reason. That's the race to 99 cents when it comes to the App Store on these iPhones and Android phones and whatever. The race to 99 cents turned into the race to free. Nobody wants to pay money for anything anymore, especially. If it's something they see there's some free alternative to, and I mean I get that. I am at the point where we probably have single digits or double digits in our bank account right now, so like I understand the not paying for things, but that's ultimately I think that's one of the things that stands in the way is people saw what happened to music. So the movie industry, the TV industry, they saw what happened to music when Napster came along. And they don't want that to happen to them.
Well, the thing is, like,
very slow.
Well, the thing is, they like Napster was illegal. I mean,
Napster was illegal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people had it and used it, but completely flaked on the idea that it was not legal to do so.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, the streaming video services that we have now are not illegal.
Right.
They're people are getting paid.
So maybe the better comparison is that they saw what happened with iTunes. Where I'm a fan of iTunes. Like 99 cents a song, that was a pretty good deal. 99 cents a song, $10 for an album, like that was a pretty good deal. But the music industry was already so fucked up because of what had happened with Napster that I think the movie and the TV studios are they're just really paranoid about the wrong thing. Like, put your shit on these services, and I think you're in better shape. I mean.
Like, there might be, like, at least 5 or 6 people that download this podcast every week.
There might be.
And that's like at least 2 more than we had when we started.
That is at least 2 more than we had when we started. I mean, slow and steady. The tortoise.
You brought up Marvel Comics before. And, like,
I did.
There was something that you had mentioned earlier before when we started the show that had to do with Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. There was something. There was, and I will try to put this into the show notes. I thought it was a really lovely, card, birthday card, from an uncle. From a child to their uncle, and it has Spider-Man on it. And the words on the front say, "Heads up, Uncle." Heads up, Uncle.
If anybody in here that listens to the show is familiar with Spider-Man, either in film or comic book form, the Spider-Man origin story basically is, I mean, he initially gets bit by the radioactive spider.
Yes, or the genetically altered spider, depending on, which movie you're talking about.
Okay, yes. Was that the new one that
I think the new ones are all genetically altered spiders because, radioactivity was the thing in the 60s. Genetics was the thing in the 2000s. Okay. So they've redone his origin.
So radioactive spider gets bit, gets magic spider powers.
Yes.
And then has a little sort of verbal altercation with his uncle saying, like, I'm going to go do this thing and fight in this thing. And and you can't tell me what to do. And his uncle was all bummed out. And then after the big match against Macho Man.
Yes. Oh, yeah!
He could have stopped a criminal. But he didn't.
Yeah.
And because of that same criminal shot his uncle.
Damn right he did. Heads up, Uncle!
Yeah, so this time... on your birthday card. I hope you don't die. What does the inside of the card say?
I don't know.
I hope a criminal that I didn't stop doesn't shoot you. Love, your nephew.
And I get a shout out to Peter Amato, Peter_Amato on Twitter, who this is how it came across my stream. He said, "Too little, too late, Spider-Man." That was the phrase that was there. Yeah, I mean, and they're doing Spider-Man again. And
is it under the Marvel umbrella?
It is under the Marvel umbrella. So I think we talked about this when they first announced it.
Is it going to be a black Spider-Man?
He's not going to be a black Spider-Man. He's going to be a teenaged white dude. The actor is Tom Holland, I believe. And here's the thing. Marissa Tomei playing Uncle May. Uncle Ben. Marissa Tomei is playing Uncle May. They haven't said anything about Uncle Ben. What they have said is that you are not going to see the entire origin story. You're going to see Peter Parker, Spider-Man in high school.
They could do a montage at the beginning to just basically...
That's why The Incredible Hulk is such a good movie, because they take care of the whole goddamn origin in the opening credits, and then they're like, let's just tell an awesome Hulk
because
story.
they've already done Spider-Man like 3 times already.
They have
twice as of recently.
Twice in the last 15 years.
Yeah, so we can just have...
It's like Batman, and apparently in the trailer for Batman versus Superman, you do see Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot. Like that, we don't need to see Bruce's parents getting shot anymore. We know how fucking Batman becomes Batman. Exactly. A lot of reaching for the stars.
So yeah, you just show that, like, a montage of like all the stuff that happens in like the first of the first Spider-Man movies or something.
Yeah. Except you don't skirt past all of the high school stuff, because I think one of the things that the Marvel Studios, the film people, want is they want to really show us what a teenage Spider-Man looks
like. So they're just like,
instead
hey, Marvel Studios, show me what you got.
Yes.
That's a reference.
It's
not One Piece, though.
I did not get it. I'm sorry.
You're not going to unless you watch it.
I see. Well, here's the... Not to get off on a tangent, but I spent some time cleaning out my Netflix queue last night.
You did, nice.
Which is what I tend to do. I put a whole bunch of shit in there because everyone tells me watch this stuff, and then I have a nervous breakdown on a Saturday afternoon during a walk, and I decide, you know what? I am not going to feel beholden to my Netflix queue anymore. I'm going to erase a whole bunch of stuff and only keep the stuff that I know I might one day watch. So no, I probably won't ever watch it. I just got to that point where
I'm not talking about One Piece. I'm talking about like One Piece is a behemoth.
I know you're not talking about One Piece.
You should, if you're going to do anything with One Piece, you should read it.
I should read it. But no, whatever it was you're making reference to, I'm probably
it's Rick and Morty.
Okay, yeah,
you should definitely watch.
How many episodes are there?
There's 2. We're in the middle of the second season right now, so
see that's the thing.
You could still be on the ground floor here,
possibly, and that's really what it is. I look at a lot of these TV shows and I go, I cannot. Like 6, 7, 8, 10 season. No,
One Piece is currently in season 11.
I can't do it.
Or actually, technically, in Japan, it would be season 17.
I think the average person has room in their life for like one 10-season sitcom. Friends is my one 10-season sitcom. Like I could watch Friends as often as 4 times an afternoon on TBS. Like I could sit there for 2 hours and watch Friends.
I've been power watching Seinfeld, and like I've talked about it a bunch. I'm already in season 8.
Yuck.
You don't like Seinfeld?
Seinfeld's stupid.
Fuck you.
Seinfeld is dumb.
We are going. We could have. Why don't you like Seinfeld?
What is there to like about Seinfeld?
It's funny.
I have never. Part of it is I've never sat down and tried to watch an entire episode.
Then how the fuck can you make such a judgment?
But I watched the final one, and
the final one sucks.
I rest my case.
That if you're gonna judge an entire series on the shitty episode that they decided to end it with, then that is just terrible. You should not. No, you should watch good episodes.
You give me one.
And I'm not even saying like the big ones, like the ones where they had the bet of who could last the longest without masturbating, or or the one where there was the soup Nazi or whatever.
Part of it is that just none of the characters they're all unlikable.
Yeah. The same thing was with Arrested Development.
I didn't like Arrested Development either.
Because you didn't like any of the characters?
Arrested Development felt to me like it was too clever for its own. In the same way that Seinfeld feels too clever for its own good. Like I don't. It doesn't do anything for me.
All right, well.
I mean, I also have never watched, and this is one of the things I took out of my queue yesterday was the first Apatow series, Freaks and Geeks. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, it looks like these people are trying to be too. I don't know.
That was a good show.
I mean, and that's one where I
didn't watch it when it first came out, but I watched it. It was back when I was still getting Netflix discs, and I don't know why I have such a trouble saying Netflix discs. But yeah, when I used to get the discs in the mail. I watched that entire series, and
I feel like I could watch it, but it seriously was stressing me out, all the stuff that was in my queue. Like I got rid of Orange is the New Black. I watched 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I liked it, but I was like, I'm never gonna get to it. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I mentioned a couple weeks ago. I finally watched the last 12 minutes of the first episode, and I thought, it's clever, but I'm never gonna get to it. What
are you gonna get to? Like, what are you actually gonna watch?
I like rewatching the stuff that I already like because and I'm sorry that that's the way that I am, but like I am much more apt to rewatch Lost, which I'm rewatching at the gym on the treadmill. I'm much more apt to watch that than I ever am to watch Breaking Bad. Like I really want to watch Breaking Bad, but I feel like I don't have the space in my day and the space in my brain to take on that many more new things in my life.
The thing is, like, Breaking Bad is not like you're not barraged with characters constantly, like a lot of series. One Piece. Yeah. And it's ended in a reasonable amount of time. It was an AMC series, so it wasn't a 24-episode season. So the seasons are only about 12 episodes each.
Right.
So it's not an overwhelming, unsurmountable amount of episodes.
That's why I kept Breaking Bad in. Like, I kept Breaking Bad in the queue, queue. I think I got into I don't know if I was in the second season. I think I might have made it in the second season. But so I really tried to look at everything and say, what do I kept, it's one of the Netflix series, the one about the politician, House of Cards. I kept House of Cards in because I look at the stuff that I like. Political drama, historical drama. There aren't a lot of comedies that are in my queue. I look at it and I'm just like, I like good...
I hate laughing. Laughter's stupid. I hate Jerry, Kramer, George, especially Kramer because he's such a racist. Allegedly.
I enjoy a good comedic movie. But comedic series, I very, very infrequently get.
Becky is full on, like, it's fall. Let's watch some scary movies here and there. Yeah. So we watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Oh yeah.
And
rest in peace, Wes Craven.
Yeah. So we watched that, and I always like, because I remember seeing bits and pieces of it when I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old and being like,
I've never seen
like
any
traumatized by it.
Yeah.
But then like watching it as an adult, you're like, this is hokey as hell. Like, and like, I know the later ones are like crazy hokey and they're just like caricatures of like the original
ones. Yeah.
But this one, I mean, like when he's just walking down like the alleyway and he's got really long arms and he's scraping his claws on the wall with his really long arms. I'm like, what is that?
What is this? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not. It's not.
It just looks silly.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of those, so I can't comment one way or the other. I think I would like them, but I wouldn't ever find the time. I mean, I'm not finding the time to watch stuff, and then it stresses me out when I see it sitting in the queue. Like I go there to watch something, and there's so much.
See, I think what the way you're treating your queue is that it's something that you have to watch. I think that's what you could just, if you could just turn a switch in your brain and say, I have these things that are there and I can watch them at any time. Yeah. And you don't have to like, because I have like a buttload of stuff that I was just like, oh, I'll watch that, and then I'll promptly forget about it, and I'll look at my list and I'm like, whoa, when did I put this stuff in here?
Yeah. I can't do it. Like I've tried multiple times, and every time it gets to a certain length, I can't. I have to keep it down to the things I might actually watch. Same with HBO. If I finally get logged into HBO again, which is frustrating because I don't want to have to ask for my mother's username and password just to log into HBO. Like that feels stupid to me.
I'm sure your mom will be okay.
I'm sure she's fine with it, but like she's
like, you know what, Chris? No, not now, not ever.
Apparently
your mother has a weird accent now.
Yeah, it works that way for HBO, for Disney. I mean, we already talked about that. Disney Channel. My kids want to log in, and it's just a pain in the ass the way that TV works, and also that there's so much of it, and there's so much good. I wanted to ask you. Have you heard of Mr. Robot?
I did.
I heard.
I saw didn't we see the trailer when we watched the Super Bowl?
Maybe.
I think
maybe Christian Slater.
I don't know. I thought we saw it. Maybe it was some other show.
I don't know. I just know that Mr. Robot. I've been hearing all sorts of people talk about it. Apparently,
didn't they have to postpone the final episode?
They did because it was
it was
similarities
to like a tragedy that happened recently.
To the shooting. Shooting live on the air. I cannot remember the call letters of the broadcast, but we talked about
it.
Yeah. So Mr. Robot is apparently really good. That's only like 10 episodes, I think, and I think you can watch it on USA's website if you fucking log in.
I hate. Enough with logging in.
You gotta prove that you're paying for it, Steve.
Show me an ad. I don't care. Show me the same ad 600 times.
Probably you're still going to see an ad once you log in.
Yeah, but show me an extra one. I don't care. Yeah. Like, what is it? Crunchyroll, the anime streaming service.
Yeah.
You can sign up for it, and you can pay. I think it's like similar to Netflix and Hulu as far as how much they charge. Right. You can watch unlimited anime with no commercials. Or you can watch it with commercials, for free, and I opt for that usually.
I would almost,
because I usually like keep on bringing it up, not in a fun way, but I'll watch One Piece every week.
Yeah,
and like if I want to watch it on the TV without having to hook my computer up to it, I'll just go onto the PlayStation and press the Crunchyroll app and then watch the new episode.
Yeah.
And then there we go.
See, that's where I would almost always... I would rather not watch it than have to watch ads. I would rather wait till the point where I can pay for it and have a direct relationship with the creator or the fucking company that's milking them for all they're worth.
It's funny
but I think advertising is an absolutely heinous business model.
Let's not burn a bridge before we even get to it.
It's a heinous business model.
Let's not. I'm known for burning bridges as far as like things that I say on this damn radio show or podcast, whatever the fuck it is.
The way that it generally, I'm not. A few ads on a podcast for things that you really like.
Yeah, like MeUndies. Stamps.com.
That is one thing. Cramming ads down my throat the way that the TV networks do, or the way that websites do, and the nefarious ways that they do it is something else entirely.
Well, do you have one of those store cards anywhere, like a CVS card or whatever?
I don't. Stephanie does.
So, well, then, like, every time that, your bank account is used in correlation with that card,
right,
then you have a record of something you've bought, and you're going to get emails and sort of marketing towards the things that you bought.
I don't have to like it.
I'm not saying you have to like it, but it's going to happen. Unless you just completely go off the grid, pay for everything in cash, and then...
It's not... I don't necessarily care about paying for everything in cash. I care about paying for it. I wish that I could just... that people... That all of us were paid a fair wage, and that we could therefore afford to buy the things and pay for the things that we want, rather than having to watch advertisements for things that we don't want.
No, there's plenty of... Chris, you gotta realize that there's a lot of companies that need to make as much profit as possible, and in order for them to do that, they have to do very, very un-American things like ship their jobs overseas, so they can make as much profit as they possibly can for themselves and their shareholders.
Un-American, Steve?
That's very un-American, but it's very American all at the same time.
Republicans, what it feels like.
It's un-American and it's a very American, all in the same bunch. It's a mush of fucking bullshit that we have to eat every day. It's just like, tasty bullshit.
Yes. You're right. And when you're right, you're right.
I am. Let's move on. We've been talking about television. We do this every couple of months. We talk about like things that we were going to watch or about to watch.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the show.
Yes.
You know what I did watch on television?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What?
You know what I did watch on television? The New England Patriots.
What? Oh, yes. You mean the ones that are constantly cheating?
They've changed their name. The New England Cheaters.
Yeah, the New England Cheaters. Because all we do is just cheat and then win.
All I do is win. What I want. I don't know.
What was it? Roethlisberger? Ben
Roethlisberger.
What was he accusing us of cheating about?
Some way in which we moved at the goal line in order to trigger.
Here's what he said. I think his quote was, "It's an unwritten rule that you're not supposed to do that." And an
unwritten rule
is not a rule.
It's not a rule, you asshole.
An unwritten rule is not a rule. It's just something that you do, I guess. But it's not something that's illegal. That's probably why the refs didn't call anything.
Right.
And it's the reason why...
It'll be illegal by next season.
Yes, because Jim Irsay will be like, oh, the Patriots did this thing and it helped them. Let's make it so they can't do it anymore. Yeah, but only the Patriots. The Colts can do it, right?
No. Pretty soon it will be illegal to throw a forward pass.
Yes, because Tom Brady is so good at it.
Because Tom Brady is great at throwing forward passes. It's an unwritten rule. You don't pass that often. It's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, he probably deflated a ball or inflated a ball, or he's using some sort of magic magnet ball.
He's got some sort of tube running from his.
He's got a pneumatic tube
from his gloved hand all the way down to his balls, and he squeezes it. And
no, he's got a pneumatic
balls.
No, he's got a pneumatic tube that goes from his arm to the receiver, and they magically—it's invisible. And that's cheating. That's how they're cheating now. It just goes and it gets sucked through the tube right into the receiver's hands.
No, none of us see the tube.
Yeah,
it's Invisitube technology.
It's new Invisitube technology
that
the Patriots have designed. The Kraft Corporation, along with the macaroni and cheese.
Yes, they have
with authentic cheese. Color and flavor.
I don't understand why we don't get along, right? I mean, we got Kraft and we got Heinz, right? Like Heinz and Kraft, everyone puts fucking ketchup on their macaroni, right?
Who does that? Ugh.
Who does that? That's the only way to eat macaroni and cheese. Otherwise, macaroni.
What the fuck is
what
wrong
is
with you
the point
people?
of macaroni and cheese without ketchup? What's the point of anything without ketchup?
I put hot sauce
what I'm
on
saying?
everything, but not ketchup. I'm not a ketchup person.
I am the ketchup person.
I'll have a tomato. Yeah.
Eat dinner with me sometime and be completely grossed out by how much ketchup I put on things. Oh, ketchup.
Like, sometimes I'll want a little bit of ketchup on my French fries.
Yeah.
But I'll put it on the side and I'll dip it in. I won't be dumping it on the fries.
Never on the fries. Nice pool of ketchup.
Like, I need it. Like, if you got one of those little Wendy's little cups of ketchup, I'd be okay with that much ketchup.
Oh, no. About 5
and I'll
or
be
6.
like, I'm done with ketchup. I'm like, that's all the ketchup I needed.
5 or 6 of those.
Like,
minimum.
a packet of ketchup, I'm all right with. Or maybe 2.
Oh, ketchup packets? No, we're talking like 10 ketchup packets.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, but hot sauce with me, I love hot sauce on anything.
Yeah, no hot sauce.
You need to, every once in a while.
You need a hot sauce enema.
Which is what I gave myself. Well, it wasn't an enema. It was sort of a laxative.
Hot sauce enema. That was
my old podcast.
I was trying to give you
I think it's still up there. It's weird. Like, I tried downloading it onto my phone.
And it won't come?
It won't download all the way. It's weird.
Oh, weird. That is weird.
But, they still exist online, but I don't know what the hell the deal is.
Huh. Interesting.
So check that one out if you want to hear a lot more yelling and overtalk.
The Patriots cheated.
Oh, yeah, they cheated again. Oh, yeah, and Roethlisberger was like, unwritten rule. And you know what's, an actual written law?
Yeah. That
you're not supposed to rape anybody.
I have heard that.
So Ben allegedly did that. So maybe you shouldn't the people that live in glass houses.
Yeah,
shouldn't call people cheaters
and shouldn't have ketchup.
Yes.
Did you see? I think I saw it. It was I watched the second half of the game from my computer. I was working on my draft today, my story that I put up every day.
Stories,
my stories, my science fiction stories about visitors from other planets.
You did watch Back to the Future recently.
I was watching, so I can't remember whether this comment that I saw was actually on the telecast or whether it was a Twitter comment. I think it might have been a little of both. Roethlisberger at the end of the game marched down the field with so little motivation. It was like he had some money on the game and not that he was trying to win, because he marched down with just enough time.
Oh, that's dangerous Pete Rose territory right
to
there.
Score a touchdown. Not enough. If he had stepped it up a little bit, there was a lackluster attempt at an onside kick, I believe. But he marched down, he got the 7 points, which meant that it was a push as far as anybody betting on the game was concerned. And they didn't win the game. But if he'd gone just a little bit faster, a little bit more pep in his step, maybe he would have. Maybe he could have tied up the game. Maybe
here's a question for you.
Who knows?
If we had lost the Super Bowl, if the Seahawks had not gone for a pass on that last play, do you think there would be as much hullabaloo over the deflate football thing as there was?
Hard to say.
But the thing is, the Super Bowl, which we won, mind you,
yes,
this was post deflated balls.
Yeah. It's hard to say, I think, because they had already started down the path of trying to punish the team for it, and if they'd lost, could Goodell have pulled on the reins and said, all right, no, they lost the biggest game in the world. We're just gonna we're gonna let that be their punishment is them losing the Super Bowl. I don't know.
I mean,
knows?
As much as I hate to admit, I think from that Super Bowl, those two teams, I think Seattle was the better team because they had the better defense, and that usually is the team that wins the Super Bowl. And they should have.
But the better team is the team that wins.
I know, but the typically the better team is the one with the better defense, and they very well should have won.
They passed.
Yeah,
and the Butler did it.
Yes,
it was really interesting to watch. For the most part, it's always interesting for me to watch social media at the same time as I'm watching the game because I'll see what the national broadcasters are saying versus the home team people. And this time, speaking of Butler, it was really interesting because the national broadcasters were praising Butler, and every time something Butler got beat on something, they would say, that was a perfectly executed play, whereas the home team fans were all like on Butler and saying, this guy, he isn't that good. From my perspective, I was more with the national people. I was like, everything that he got beat on, he's a kid. He had one great play in the damn Super Bowl.
He was like that jackass that caught the football on his helmet from the Giants.
That guy.
That dipshit. He wrote a book that was called More Than Just the Catch.
Oh, God.
Trying to, say that he's done more
in
his
life.
That
he's more than just a catch.
Yes, but in reality, that's basically all he'll ever be known for. Unless he murders somebody.
Yeah?
Don't murder anybody.
No, you're never known for that. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger will not be known as a rapist. He'll be known...
he's alleged because he was not convicted.
When he gets his jacket, nobody
it's not even alleged. He's apparently acquitted, so apparently he didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
In the eyes of the law.
In the eyes of the Lord.
Law. In the eyes of the law and the Lord,
in the eyes of the Lord, he might have done it.
Not what are you, Boston accent fella? Oh, we got
some follow up.
Email,
dear. I can't do it.
I'm not doing it,
dear Chris. No. First, we had some Twitter follow up from Becky.
Yes.
Who sent us an article about why Kim Davis, the county clerk from Kentucky, has not been fired.
And this is what I suspected.
Yeah. Let's see. David, this is from the second paragraph of a article by Christina Prignano?
Pringles.
From the Boston Globe. Davis is an elected official and can't be, quote, fired in the traditional sense of the word. She does not have a boss and can only be removed from office if she is impeached by the Kentucky legislature or charged with misconduct by the state's attorney general. The conservative political climate in Kentucky makes both of these options unlikely. In addition, Kentucky does not allow recall elections according to the National Conference of State
Conference.
The National Conference of State Legislatures. So she cannot be fired.
So if you are a Kentucky listener, which I doubt you exist, but if you are, call up your local congressperson or whatever and try to get this person kicked out of office.
Get her
or impeached there. Try to get because I think they're off for the summer.
Probably.
And it's after Labor Day. Get back to work, guys.
Yeah. You can't wear white after Labor Day.
Or be racist.
Nah, you can be racist after Labor Day.
Okay, I saw the sign yesterday, and this is coming back from last week, and I think it's near where you used to live. And there was a little sign. It was on the stop sign. It was like cupcake conspiracy or something like that.
There is one. There is.
And I'm like, is that like a white supremacist group?
Never been in there. No, cupcake conspiracy for the longest time was located directly to the left of my dentist.
Oh,
so that was the conspiracy. Was that they went there to keep the dentist in business. We do have 2 emails.
Horribly off topic, the show of the future.
From listener Matt, howdy folks.
Presents electronic mail. Mail sent electronically.
Matt writes, Gents, I relish your banter, but I am playing catch up with Hot. Steve is BB Cutie. But a comment of his came off tartarded to me, and I felt the need to addressing it. It mustard bidden 4. Mayo be 5 weeks ago at this point.
Is it over yet?
Being a masshole is synonymous with one thing above all else: terrible, aggressive driving. As one who commutes around the Beltway of D.C., rides to Pittsburgh, and up to Mass quite frequently, there is one thing that quite literally drives me crazy: when people like Stevie refuse to get out of the fast lane.
Here, hold up.
All right.
I am not sitting in the fast lane. If someone wants to go faster than me, and if I'm in the fast lane, the reason why I'm there is to pass somebody in the middle lane. Mm-hmm. If there's someone that wants to go faster than me,
right,
I will usually get out of the way once I pass the person that I intend to pass.
Right.
So once I'm out of the way, feel free to go 90 miles an hour, because I'm hoping beyond hope that you get pulled over and I don't. So no, I do not do that. I want people to drive insanely fast and get bagged.
It is a passing lane, writes Matt. If you aren't the fastest bitch on the road, just get the fuck over when you can. Stubborn, fast lane, not so fast drivers deserve to have their day ruined by a condiment pun riddled into a paragraph.
I didn't deserve that even in the slightest.
Also, Diary of a Hobo is a great song to blast while exercising in a graveyard, or to jam out to when pushing your baby in a stroller around a museum. It arouses the left side of my man parts, and even makes me drive my car 15 miles per hour.
Is that half of his dick is hard? Or is his testicle like...
He doesn't have a deflate problem, is what he's saying. He likes one side deflate. One side is typically deflated. He's saying that Diary of a Hobo inflates part of his man parts.
Oh, good. And it inflates balls for Brady.
Yes.
Not deflates.
Yes. And that's what he should have had. That's what they were missing in the locker room, was when
they should have listened to the new Sweethearts.
When the people were coming to examine the balls, they needed to throw on fucking Diary of a Hobo, and that would have inflated them back up to the right pressure. We would have had none of this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to read the rest of it. All right, I will read that. Would you rather have us just donate directly to you, or purchase the things you are trying to sell? Should I pay iTunes $1.29 for a song, or donate $1.29 to you directly and steal the album from Newbury Comics?
There aren't Newbury Comics in DC, but that would be great if the new Sweethearts album was at Newbury
Comics.
Here's what I say. I say, donate to the podcast and buy the album and buy Chris's little book there, the Geek Force 5.
Geek Force 5.
And donate to your Patreon. And do we have any other ends?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Is there more personal value in increased sales numbers at a lesser personal income, or would you prefer direct donation at equal consumer value? I think
Yeah, I just said it all.
You just said it all.
Buy everything. Give us all your money.
As the political season is ramping up, does it ever end? I'd love to hear what you think each candidate believes the backbone of America really is.
Well, this is not a
we should save that one for. We should come back to that, because we're at the end of the show here and we're running out of time. But
so ask us that question again, maybe next week.
Yes,
and then we'll so we don't forget. Because we're dummies that forget things.
I will quickly read the other email that Matt sent regarding last episode. He says, the last episode was probably one of your best in a while. Thank you. Good topics, poignant discussion, and Steve was running on chuckle juice.
I don't understand what that is, but I actually hadn't had anything to drink.
As for the religious opposition to carrying out one's job discussion, your friend, that being my friend, I read something last episode, made a terrible comparison and should move off the talking points. The comparison should have been made akin to a pacifist cop who refuses to carry a gun. Thank you. I agree. We win.
Badoom!
Badoom!
We win the conversation that we were having.
We win the debate we were having between each other, which wasn't...
did we miss anything?
Debate. No,
we did.
We did not.
We could talk about it next week when I actually have done it.
Yes. Vague booking.
All right. Plugs.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/5959. And, of course, you can send us email like Matt just did by emailing hot@clarkwoods.com. Or you can catch us on the Twitter. I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word.
Oh, he said it. You stopped saying all one word for the longest time, and I had to add it in there for you. Well, that's all the show we have for you this week, folks. We will be back next week to talk about how the Patriots cheated against...
Who are we playing next week?
I don't know. I guess whoever they're going to...
we were watching a little bit of the Buffalo
Colts
game, and I was commenting on how much Buffalo was cheating because they weren't the Colts.
They weren't the Colts. Good old
Fuck you, Jim Irsay.
Go fuck yourself.
You whiny fuck.